I don't like when people play the victim either, but at the same time, I still cannot deny the fact that a lot of them grew up without a lot. If you were hurting, can I tell you don't hurt? No, that you have no control over pain, and some people can take more pain than others. That's why I just feel that although, yes, no one should play the victim, but at the same time, the people who are telling you don't play the victim are the people that didn't deal with the things that you did. So how would you know? You know, you have stockbrokers who jump off of buildings because they went bankrupt. These people live broke every day.
Say hi.
It's a pride thing. Like, you from Brooklyn, like you can do anything. That's how I feel.
There's like great artists who've come from Brooklyn and come out of Brooklyn, like Biggie. Everybody knows Biggie, and Spike Lee, and so many other great people who come from Brooklyn and continue to represent the city, even when they leave.
I represent Flatbush a lot, but no matter what hood I go to, Brownsville, East New York, the Bronx, Harlem, it's the same love because we can all relate to the same upbringings.
I mean, I think it's pretty interesting. Like, you know, it's a lot of places to shop, places to eat, fun.
The different things you can get into on an average day. You can go from Williamsburg to Crown Heights and eat everything from kosher food to oxtails, peas and rice. You can get every culture from West Indian to American to Europeans.
Same struggles that you would find, you know, in any inner city. Lack of jobs, also as well, you know, tough neighborhoods, violence, being surrounded by that.
When it gets hot in New York City, like that's breeding grounds for violence. Like shit just happens every day.
People were killed on my block like almost every other week. And there were a lot of things that I experienced, and I was telling my friend that it wasn't until I got older that I realized that my upbringing was not normal.
Fort Greene Projects is right there, and the same shit that, the same stuff that was going on in Fort Greene before still goes on, but it's hidden, it's not talked about. It's kind of like, hush, hush, hush. These things aren't going on, but they are.
It's either you got down or you laid down.
We come from a ruthless ass environment, you understand? So, yeah, it could get real. Shit gets fucking real around here.
You had kids out here 7, 8 years old selling crack. You had kids 7, 8 years old out here holding pistols, you know. One of the guys that I grew up with, Pop, he was 16 years old when he was in the Daily News, Brooklyn's Most Wanted.
There's always gonna be crime and violence because that's what the United States is known for. Like, a story that I had from when I was in Vietnam for the summer, a kid came up to me and was like, I like to kill people, but he was kidding, he was joking. And my sister who was with me, she's like, if you like to kill people, like, how do you plan on killing people? And he's like, I'm gonna get a gun. And she's like, where are you gonna get the gun from? He's like, the United States. Because where else do you get guns from?
First time I seen a cop get shot on this block.
Oh, wow.
First time I seen a cop get robbed. Remember that at the corner store?
On this block.
Robbed, a cop, like, you can't help me. Not over here, you can't.
Yeah,
If you go on Facebook on any given day, you can find like, rest in peace so-and-so, rest in peace this person, all in situations where they were relating to violence.
You weren't permitted to come on other people's blocks.
You couldn't just come on this block like this.
And hung out.
No, hell no. Like if you didn't, hell no.
If you didn't have no
if
ties
you didn't know
or
anyone, like
affiliation.
believe it. I mean, could you imagine somebody walking up to us right now and be like, "Why are you here?"
Right.
You know, like that's really how it
went
was.
down. Yeah, definitely.
That's really how it was because growing up back then, it was a couple of blocks. It was East 21st. It was the block that I grew up on, Argyle Road. It was a tennis court. It was Regent. Those were like some of the. I mean, police couldn't come on these
So was it just gangs versus gangs, or
It wasn't gangs.
people just
It wasn't
didn't-
gangs at all.
No
It was
one
just
wanted to see
people,
anyone else on their block.
You gotta understand it. Back then, you know, a lot of people, it was more about drugs than it was about gangs.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Divided territory.
I've seen it. I've been to funerals for people who've been killed just in unfortunate situations. So, I mean, it's really unavoidable when you grow up.
From the neighborhood we're from is, you know, you just mind your business, you know, and we live in that environment. You know, Brownsville and Crown Heights is just like any other hood. So it might be a different language, a different, you know, activities, but pretty much everything is the same.
It's sad because you think about the people who grow up in these suburbs, and when these kids become 18, 19, 20, you know, they're trying to find themselves. But us that grow up in these environments, by the time we get to that age, we're trying to deprogram ourselves. Because now we finally learned that this isn't reality. This is just what occurs in our neighborhood.
See, I honestly didn't get a taste of how bad our environment was until I got a chance to visit other environments, until I got a chance to leave and go to, like, you know, different states and live in different cities and see how normal safety was, or peace, or, you know, just being able to go and come as they please without sirens, and, you know, just being able, this is the norm, you know, cars going fast, the train going, the cop, the sirens, the ambulance, and for it to be quiet, it was like, you know.
When you're used to the fastness and you go somewhere that's slow, it's like, oh, really? This is pretty much easy. But a person like me, I just love the fastness. You know, the city is really, you know, it is what it is to me.
I think it could either make you or break you. It could either make you strong, or, you know, for some people they just don't have that in their character and their personality. That it's not even like a physical toughness in Brooklyn. It's more like a mental fortitude. Like, some people just can't deal with that. Like, people not saying hello when they say hello, or asking for the time and being ignored. Some people can't deal with, you know, that.
Like, you go out of town and you could walk by anyone and they'll say hello, and it's strange for a New Yorker because there's nobody says good morning, or like nobody's holding the door open for you. You know, it's just regular, like nobody cares.
The shooting sparked a furious reaction. Police responded in force.
One of the biggest issues the United States continues to battle is police brutality. So far in 2015, there has been over 900 people killed by the police in the US, with the majority being African American descent.
In my lifetime, I've had two of my friends killed by police. You understand? And I remember, my first friend was killed, Oscar was killed when I was like 18, and he was shot by the cops and killed. And then my second friend, who actually was a childhood friend from high school, that was actually publicized. That was Patrick Dorsman that they killed in Manhattan, the Haitian gentleman. That was a friend of mine. So it happens. Believe it or not, I think that it's just that now that we have social media, now that everyone has camera phones, you know, it's exposed more. But this is something that's been going on since I was a child.
Have you guys ever been affected by anything like that, whether it's yourself or someone around you?
Yeah, I mean, I actually got in 2 fights with 2 cops where I had to like dog them because like I know my rights, so if you touch me, I'm gonna touch you back. Like, that's just how it works.
Cops used to come on my block and beat people, and I mean all types of things.
I got beat up by the cops when I was in high school.
Yeah.
How did that affect you in any sort of way? Did it make you stronger? Did you use?
It affects me did it. Everything I already knew or felt about them, it just shows that I'm right. Not every cop is a bad person, but it shows you that they don't really care about you. You're just a number.
Right.
You know, it's been drawing more attention to it nowadays, but it's been something that's been going on for a long time.
Right.
You know, police brutality, whether it's, you know, in a physical sense or, you know, just in an oppressive sense, us being frisked or, you know, just feeling like we're caged in.
I believe, I'm just glad it's getting more attention now than before because it's the same thing that's going on and it's been going on for years now. So, decades, centuries. So, I'm glad that, you know, with cameras and everything coming along, you can actually see what's going on. But there's still no justice in some areas. And it's still being ignored. So.
I actually grew up with this young lady, but just to show you guys as far as police brutality is concerned, she was arrested for a dispute that she had with her mother, nothing serious, and the whole time that they were taking her to the precinct, she kept complaining about chest pains.
Yeah.
They still didn't take her to the hospital. They left her in the bullpen, where she ended up dying in the bullpen. And this is why they're having this rally tomorrow for her.
And
so,
the justice still not served?
There's still no justice served. It's been over 2 years since she died in police custody, you know. And this is, you know, like this whole police brutality, it's nothing new. Like,
I'm a black man. I don't already have a hard life as is, so like don't make my life harder.
I'm not giving them no pass because I don't like the police. I'm team fuck you pigs.
Gentrification is spreading across America. Brooklyn is one of the top 5 cities in which faces a fast growth of residency, businesses, and racial displacement in the entire city. Some see it as a help in their communities, while others call it harm.
And right now, the biggest issue Brooklyn faces is gentrification and the divide in wealth. That's seen throughout the city, but you can see it's very prevalent in Brooklyn, especially in Fort Greene. We have people who live in the ghetto, people who live in the projects, and then there's people who live in $1 million mansions all on the same block.
as a matter of fact, this is how, when we were younger, we used to make, you know, some money. Whenever it snowed, we would grab shovels and we'd go knock on the doors.
Yeah.
And we would, you know, shovel all the driveways and everything for money.
But back in the day, this within a 3-mile radius of this whole neighborhood, it was definitely something else. It definitely built up this reputation of what Flatbush is about.
We used to call this the white boy neighborhood.
Yeah. I would assume.
You understand? But, and that's the funny thing, although it was so close to us, the fact that we called it the white boy neighborhood showed that in our minds, we still thought it wasn't accessible to us.
Yeah, exactly, because the street's so different from here. Here just looks like you're not supposed to.
Then you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of people in my generation who were coming out of Brooklyn, artists mainly, because that's what Fort Greene and Brooklyn, that's what they're really known for. But they're taking advantage of the opportunities just like anyone else. So we appreciate it, but in the same breath, we kind of have mixed feelings. It's a negative kind of connotation, but then there's also like the obvious, we all want opportunity and we all want to do well and we all want to achieve. So
It's a quality of life issue. You know, when, you know, I don't want to be, you know, when different people with different cultures come into neighborhoods that used to be, you know, downtrodden or the poverty level was high at a certain point, they get, you know, people that are more affluent move into the neighborhood, you know, the police presence has stepped up, it feels a little bit safer, the neighborhoods become cleaner, so in that respect, it's a good thing.
20 years ago, I didn't have all the same opportunities as people have who are coming into the community that they have now, so.
Like downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You could have got a 2-bedroom apartment out there back in 2003 for maybe $1,200, $1,300.
Right.
Now you probably won't find one for under $3,000 a month.
It's an expensive place to live too. You know, but if you can survive here, you can survive anywhere.
I'm just shocked at how different it looks from just across the street.
Yes.
Like when I grew up, there wasn't that much investment in my community, and now it's like one of the best communities in the world. You can go anywhere and speak to artists from everywhere and say, oh, I'm from Fort Greene. And they're like, really? That's an amazing place.
People
Look at the size of this house. This is one house. And the woman who owned this house, she was a teacher. She had lived there for 80 years. She was married. It's just one woman.
People getting forced out of their homes because they can't afford to live where they live, where their families live for generations. That's the negative to it.
For me, it's a personal thing. It's like, it's difficult because it's great change. There's a lot more opportunity in Brooklyn, but it's only because of a certain group of people who've come in and now things are worth changing.
Can the average person afford that? So although gentrification, yes, it causes the neighborhood to be better, bigger police presence, more businesses, but you're forcing the people out to the point where they can't even benefit from the advantages.
You know, families that have been there for centuries gotta leave because the living situation is very hard. It's either you in the system or you out. And if you out the system, it's way harder.
I am a madman, but I'm still strong. To get back the blacks right here. Where's our black country? I went down to New Jersey and I went down to all of Philadelphia. It's all white. Where were you gonna stay? Stay right here in Brooklyn.
You already know what it is, man. It's the cast of Money and Violence, and we're rocking with clockinu.com. Check it out.
Check it out.
Y'all can find me at Tommy with 2 E's, TOMMIEE_.
Society, New York.
2,000 bricks.